Okay guys, today we've got something really special in store. I'm gonna be taking on a little bit of a beat challenge here, and that is, can I make a beat out of just a single kick drum sample? Now, the best part is for you guys that you get to watch me either fail or you get to watch me succeed or anything in between, because honestly, I really don't know how in the world I'm gonna be able to do this. But let's give it a shot and maybe we can have some fun in the process. Okay, so here we have kind of a barren looking session, don't we? This is the kick drum that we're gonna be using to make the entire beat. Nothing too crazy, but the first thing I kind of want to do is make like some sort of a synth sound with this sample. So I'm just going to open up a new MIDI track, and then I'm going to drag this sample down so that it creates a little sampler for us. I'm going to put this on loop mode to see if we can kind of generate a tone with a short loop that just kind of repeats here. We could even use that for a bass sound. Let me just open up a tuner so that I can make the C that I play on the keyboard the same, as a C that you would expect. So it's a super sharp E, so I'm gonna detune this. So now we can actually kind of play chords with this. So I'm gonna slow down the attack to get rid of some of those clicks that I hate. Let's slow the release down here. Reduce the sustain and then make the decay about half a second maybe. Let's make the sound a little bit darker here and just use this onboard filter envelope. And I'm gonna make it much darker here, something like this. We'll make the resonance a little bit higher. One kind of cool thing that you can do to mess with the tuning of the sound and make it a bit more, I guess, analog sounding or maybe lo-fi is to use this LFO, but use a noise LFO. And then if you change the rate to be about a 16th note is a good place to start. And we increase the pitch amount that the LFO is affecting, so the depth of the pitch. All right, so let's spice up the sound a little bit more. How about we use some chorus is a good place to start. And I love using this chorus from the Juno 6 by Arturia. I'm thinking about maybe increasing the spread here to make it sound even more detuned and cool. Some compression is always kind of nice to throw in there. How about we get kind of crazy with it and we'll throw some more chorus on it, but this time we're not going to use chorus, we're going to use vibrato. That's kind of cool. What do you guys think? If we put like an auto pan on there, we could make it kind of shift around a little bit and make it even crazier. I think we could do something with that. Since we have the main synth sound, let's try to get a little groove together and then we'll build on top of whatever it is that we decide to make. So obviously, since we're using a kick to make this entire beat, I can use this kick as the kick. Imagine that. Something like that. Press Command-Shift-U, quantize just a little bit. Now the real question here is, how in the world are we gonna get a snare out of this kick? One thing I've learned about life is that it's always important to start with what you do know. And what I do know is that a snare is often comprised of kind of the body and then sort of like the wires or the crunchy part of the snare sound. So if we can maybe make both of those sounds with the kick, we can get ourselves a nice little snare. If I add the kick again to our snare track, let's put this in a group by pressing Command-G, and I'm gonna call this body, and then let's duplicate it and we'll call this highs. So let's see if we can make sort of a thick body sound here. We'll shorten the envelope here, and let's raise this up. We'll turn this to one-shot mode as well. And what if we added a little saturator here to make more harmonics, make it more interesting? We could also just duplicate this body section here, mute the first one, and then let's raise this up. Now let's work on the high end here, and I'm thinking there's gonna be some noise at the end of this sample, just because everything has inherent noise, usually, during the silent parts of the sample. So if we raise this volume way up, and then we high pass it, and then we'll change it to one-shot mode, something like that, and then we could also saturate this as well. Let's add a little more saturation here. And this time let's use, how about digital clip and see where we get with that. The other thing I might do is just have a super slow compressor here to reduce the influence of the last part of the sound. Okay, let's work on the hat now. So once again, we're going to drag in the sample here and find a way of making a hat sound somehow. Let's see if we can find some stuff in the very end of this sample here, just like we did with the snare. Ooh, do you hear that? Just like a whisper of a hat there? Ooh, we bring up the resonance. That sounds more like a hat to me. Woo! Just play that in a higher note. So let's add those chords that I was playing at the very beginning onto this and see if we can do something cool. We gotta find a way to make some bass here. So we just open up a new sampler here and drag our kick on there. Let's try to put these flags somewhere that they can be looped nicely. I'm gonna change the voices as well for it to be monophonic because it's a bass, of course. And we'll tune it up. Yeah, that's cool. And crucially, I want this to be kind of like a subby bass sound. I don't want it to be too, well, sawtoothy, have too many harmonics. So I'm just gonna hush those highs a little bit. That's a pretty good bass sound just from that little kick. See what we can come up with for a bass line here. What next? I like this beat because it has a lot of space in it in between everything. What if we, though, added like a little pluck sound that was almost like a percussive element in between everything to create some more interest in the beat? So if I just open up a new MIDI track, I'm gonna make just another kind of waveform with this. In order to make it more like a pluck, what we can do is just reduce the sustain down to negative infinity, just cut it right off, and we'll make the decay somewhere around half a second. See how it kind of just hangs there in the background and spices it up a little bit? All right, now let's work on the lead sound. I do hear a little melody, something a little bit brighter here for the lead sound. For this, I want to do another filter envelope, but have it be a really obvious part of the sound. So if I go to the envelope and then change it to my favorite OSR filter and change the amount to increase the depth of the envelope here. And then once we reduce the frequency, that's pretty cool. How about we add some vibrato to it as well? I'm thinking we'll go triangle. Okay, that's a little excessive, but once you increase the attack time, pretty nice. Sounding a little dark to me at the moment, so I kind of just want to high pass significantly. Could even do a little cheeky delay. Do we need to add more hats or a perk or like a crash or something? Maybe we can, hello. Maybe we can get creative with like a perk sound from this kick sample. So if I just like isolate this noise here, take the sustain all the way down, make it a really short sound. The other thing I'm kind of hearing on this synth is to use like an auto filter or something and give it some movement. I noticed that the last chord goes missing inside of the filter. So I'm just gonna automate so it's only on the first part and not on that very, like those turnaround chords here. Oh man, it feels good though to just like box yourself in a little bit and inspire creativity that way. What should the next challenge be? Because I'm up for it. Send me whatever you got. I'm ready. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.